When I was 5, I was diagnosed with Asperger's disorder. It's a form of autism. It's actually more on the high functioning end of the spectrum. When I was younger, it caused me to be looked at as different, and I was teased when I was in school, and it fed a lot of anger that I had, and it just started to, and it spread through a lot of my life. Sometimes I have to admit I was difficult to deal with when you have these type of issues and you can't exactly explain them to anyone. When I was 5, I was at McCormick Elementary School, and we had a school choir, and the school choir was directed under Murrain. Very, very, very kind woman. 5 years in, and I was in the 5th grade, I was 10 years old. Murrain suggested that I join the Maryland State Boy Choir, and I auditioned for them, and I got in. I was accepted. Even as I graduated, I was still harassed and bullied, and in my first year at Pine Grove Middle School in 6th grade, that really didn't stop. They looked for anything to tease me about: my weight, the fact that I was different, that I had a helper or anything like that. They looked for anything that they could, and it didn't feel like anyone was helping me. It felt like no one was listening. Not the teachers, not the principals, the higher ups, not even the special education helpers that were assigned to me, that were supposed to be aiding me through it. When I believe it was 11, my father took up a job in the city, in Baltimore City. So after living for 10 years in Baltimore County, we had to transition to a new place on Greenmount Avenue. So I attended Roland Park Elementary Middle. The principal at Roland Park Middle said that, well, the choir is it's too much attention to break apart from. And he said, you either have to choose school or the choir. And my mother was aghast at the idea of me leaving the choir, because she said it was so good for me. So we left the school. I left the school, and we began homeschooling. And she homeschooled me all the way up to the 9th grade, where I attended Baltimore School for the Arts. Even as I was accepted into Baltimore School for the Arts, I still wasn't completely sold on the whole music thing, but it was around age 15 that I really started to look at it, and I thought, this is something I could do for my life. This is something I could see myself doing on a regular basis and enjoy it. In 2005, I graduated from Baltimore School for the Arts with my high school diploma, and I went on to apply at the Community College of Baltimore County, and I went to the Essex campus, where their music program was accredited with the National Association of Music Schools. College at that point, that was a big transition point for my family and for me. The fall of my first year, one of my friends from the boy choir passed away in a car accident. Then a few months after that, another one of my friends from the choir, he succumbed to his diagnosis of neuroblastoma, a form of brain cancer, and he died afterwards as well. And maybe not even 2 months after that, my uncle died of a heart attack. Then a couple of years later, my father was in a car crash, a very, very serious car accident on 295. He'd broken several bones in his body, and a year later, family tension had continued to grow, and I got a phone call from my mom saying, "Don't come home." And I asked her, "What do you mean?" She said, "Just don't come home. Where are you? I'll come get you." And when she did come get me, she told me that she had left the house, that we couldn't stay there right now. So with the clothes that I had on my back and the stuff I had in my bag, we went to a hotel and we figured out our next move. In the fall of 2009, I fell in love, but there was a problem. The girl I'd fallen in love with was my best friend's girlfriend. It just compounded with the separation from my parents, and it made me a lot angrier than I was used to. And then the anger gave way to depression, and it was one night in November that I was pretty much at the lowest point, and I just wanted to end my life. And so I'm there, ready to just give up. when my best friend calls me straight out of the blue, never expected it, didn't expect it coming, and at that moment I knew God was telling me something. I'd been a Christian, I'd given my life to Christ at 15, but I had never felt farther from God than at that moment wanting to die. But then my best friend called me, and things really started to turn around after that. In spring of 2010, I was at my final recital, my degree recital for getting the Associate of Fine Arts degree from the Community College of Baltimore County. And I remember both my parents were there for that. And from then the fences were beginning to mend, and I just remember my parents being so proud of me. They looked at me with just such happiness, seeing that I'd come that far. And I was proud too. I was proud to know that I had finished it, that I'd overcome a lot of hurdles to get there. The book of 2 Corinthians 5:7, we walk by faith and not by sight. You may not see him, but you know he's there. And you have to believe that he's with you, that he's at my back, that he's beside me, that he's in front of me, that he's all around. If he hadn't been there, I might not be here now. The second quote, while not from the Bible, I find it to be I've made it very central to my life. It was spoken by Jack Harbaugh, the Stanford football coach, who happens to be the father of our current Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens head coach, John Harbaugh. Jack would always say to them, "Attack this day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind." And the day I heard that, it just clicked. It was like that. And I realized every day above ground is a chance to do something new. Every day above ground is a chance to show God's love and to show it to somebody who might not know. And every single day above ground is a good day. I'm at Towson University. I am studying to get a bachelor's degree in music. And I really think that I could do almost anything with music now. I really just believe it. And I mean, I was solid in it when I was in community college, but man, it is like concrete. I want it so much. I want a career in music. I want a life in music. And with God at my back, I believe it will happen. I believe very strongly that it'll happen.